Girl. Oh, that woman. I owe her my next life. She got me through a hard, hard time in my life. In the meantime, Meg Higgins, your queen of second opinions. You can find me on my website, secondopinionated.com. Hey, and we are the show that's going to go places that maybe you have not ever thought to go. So I welcome callers with their opinions, or if they want to tap into mine, 515-599-1687. Do me a favor, check me out. When in doubt. Topic tonight, closing the gap. I wonder how many people have ever given themselves permission to meet, connect with people of all ages. All ages. And I'm here tonight to start to put the kibosh on what is called ageism in this country. You know, we got isms, we got racism, we got sexism, we got ageism. Well, I tell you what, now that I'm in the third act of life, it's real clear. There's way too many people writing people like me off as old. And when anybody drops that word in my company, guess what I do, Carl?
What do you do?
I say put a B in front of that old, because I'm bold. On that note, and there's that phrase, age is just a number. Well, I haven't found a lot of people that buy into that. But tonight, I have the pleasure of introducing two phenomenal women that definitely did not have a problem with the number. My first guest, Madison. Woo-hoo. Madison's in the house. Do I give them your last name?
No, that's okay.
I don't blame you. I go by first names a lot, and I got a boatload of first names. Don't you look lovely and cute with your bangs?
Thank you. I wore red because I know that's your color.
See, that's becoming my trademark too. Next thing you know, when people start to go blind, they'll go out and get red glasses too. Love it, love it, love it, love it. Yes, Madison and I connected. I would have never tracked the number because I'm not into tracking numbers. 10 years, right?
Yep. This year.
10 years this year. And had we been together in the same physical space, we would have thrown us one hell of a party.
Yep.
I know. So I'm going to let you just do a quick snapshot of the where, the when, and the how come we cross paths. Because it always begins with crossing paths, intersecting in some particular way. Not in an immediate way, sometimes in a very interesting kind of way. Go for it.
Yeah, I was invited to be your sidekick for your Cinco de Mayo party, that was 10 years ago on Cinco de Mayo. I showed up to your house and we were like, wait, you're awesome. I love you. And then you said, how can I keep you around? You invited me to help you move your house like 2 weeks later. So I showed up and helped you pack up the house and moved you across town. And then you were like, well, I want to keep you around. So you hired me as your house cleaner. So I would come to your house every 2 weeks, clean like a few bathrooms, and then you would cook us dinner. And after a while, I was like, you don't have to pay me to hang out with you. And so then that was just, then we were just friends after that. So yeah, that was our origin story.
And you know what I actually love and appreciate about that story is I bet a lot of people, if left to some of their own ism desires, they would have snapped that as, oh, well, Madison was Meg's hired help. That's what she was. She was an employee. You know what?
No. Yeah.
Exactly.
It was sure, it was some dollars while I was in high school, but it was adding so much more spice to my life at that time that I would have done it for free. So.
Well, no wonder I earned the nickname a long, long time ago, Nutmeg. Spicy. I always say I'm spicy in all the right ways and in all the right places. Well, but again, let's be clear. So chronologically, at that time, your age was?
17, maybe?
You were high school. Let's just we don't have to get down on the numbers,
Yep.
but you were in high school. And I was already in the third act of life, which is anybody over the age of 60. So if you want to talk about a gap, baby, that's a gap, right? Actually,
Yep.
I think it's not, I think we need to invent a new word. I think it was kind of something bigger than that, like, what's the word I want to use? Crazy connection.
Ooh.
Like, that's crazy. What the heck is a high schooler doing with this woman who's, put in a lot of time, and although I never looked at, but that's my point. It's like so many times people write people off just based on appearance, maybe data that they get, but age has been a big one. And I will be the first one to say, and then I want to hear from you. Again, there's something to be said about reading people's energy. And that sounds like a woo-woo cosmic thing, but it's more like, do you feel drawn in? Are you drawn in? Do you want to lean in? Curious? Kind of want more? But you don't even know what the hell you want more of? But you like what's going on. And that, for me, started from the get-go. Even though, again, something more technical got us in the same space. So, I mean, what was you've already kind of alluded to it when you said you wanted more. I wish more men in my life would have said that. Dang. But in the meantime, I'll take it. So what was it that got your attention?
I think when I met you, it was like, whoa, this is a person that you were so different than most of the, I guess, people in your age category were. Exactly there was a sense of excitement to you. You were excited to get to know me. I think you were curious about who I was, and I was curious about who you were. And it was fun. It was fun to be at that Cinco de Mayo party with you.
Well, yeah.
I walked in and you you were such a great host, and it was such a fun party. And I thought, oh, moving, packing some boxes with Meg, that actually sounds like a fun time. I'll be there. Yeah.
Hold on. So I took the dullness out of any task. Right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Well, you're really helping me understand, again, some of the nicknames that I've gotten. And again, I'm really resonating with the nutmeg. Okay. So again, and there's a term on the streets, matching energy. And that, I absolutely believe, is the best description. Yeah. I met you where you were. You met me where I was and still am, which I'm just going to say spirited and seeker, though. See? The curiosity is the word most people understand. But seekers, to me, are people who, if they catch themselves shutting down, closing down, hanging out with the bias or a discriminatory thought, they catch that and they step out of it. Because we're meant as humans to be closed and open. None of us could handle intimacy 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. That would be the end of us. But to pay attention, and you absolutely struck me as naturally a seeker. Now, some people would say, oh, well, Meg, she was so young. What did she know? Of course she's going to be curious. Well, hold on a second. People go in and out of that. You stayed. And when a person is perpetually curious, that's called seeker in my world. Write that down, listeners. Oh, by the way, 515-599-1687. If you have an opinion about Madison and I closing the gap, which means we're not going to allow ourselves to be locked in around our body's age, that particular number. Okay, so all right, so that's really interesting. I'm curious now, and this is a big ask, because this is kind of inviting you to share something with me that we've not ever talked about intentionally. Was there any part of this connection happening with the gap that there was in years intimidating to you or disconcerting? Like, did you ever sit back and go, this is kind of weird in any way?
I wouldn't use the word weird, and I wouldn't use the word intimidated.
Okay,
It
cool.
was sort of like, I'm trying something new.
Okay.
And so it was exciting. It was like, whoa, I don't have a relationship like this. I don't have a person in my life that's like this. Even people that are my own age or, my parents' age, like, I don't have these like fun and deep and, insightful conversations, in some of my other relationships. So it really wasn't the age thing. I was excited about what we talked about and the places that we went. And so, yeah.
Well, that's lovely of you. And that makes sense to me. In other words, what I have found in relationship connection building is when you stand to gain more than what you stand to lose, people will take those risks. And what I'm listening to you say is you just saw nothing but the upside of this connection. And that's got your attention and you leaned into that. Yeah. It's interesting, again, when I said earlier to the audience, age is just a number. The one thing that has been my experience so profoundly, no surprise, I think I have joined humanity when I say this, that, the age is just a number is, I found that really wasn't the case when I got back into the dating world after my long-term marriage. And I'm now, in the third act, and I'm out here affiliating with men and looking to be open to the company of men, because I like men. I mean, I've made that no secret. It's not that I was looking for a husband, looking for a sugar daddy, looking to fill a hole. But in the dating world, that age thing is a factor for a lot of people to not lean in, even if they're curious and even if they're seeking. So I think the friendship connection is a little bit more generous in people allowing themselves to kind of go a little bit further into the connection, which is fine. The other thing too, and your parents, if I remember correctly, I think they're roughly 10 to 15 years younger than me, if I recall. Yeah. So I know when I ask you, were you intimidated? This has been my side of the story when I've made friends whose parents are not that far from my age. That's been weird for me, to go, oh gosh, I hope they don't think I'm trying to somehow capitalize. Or here's the one I had somebody say, is this your way of trying to stay young, Meg?
Oh, wow.
I'm like, hell to the no. And that's because my body may have its age, but my spirit is considerably younger. I tell that to my clients and audiences everywhere I go. And when asked, I say, my thing is I feel like I'm 45. So what I think is funny is that I meet people that are older or in my age group, and they might be even a few years younger than me. And then they'll go, I'm younger than you. And I'm like, no, I'm younger than you. Trust me. Because they might be in their 50s or 60s. I'm like, no. I don't live by the body's age. And there's been a lot of gifts that have come with that. Do you have any other folks in your circle that are of other ages, whether they're 20 years older than you? I mean, is this something that you are prone to in terms of a diverse inner circle, age-wise?
I would say, yeah. I mean, one of my other very close friends, she's 47, and she's one of my best friends. Yeah. So I guess for me, the age thing isn't really a factor for me. I also have friends that are younger than me.
Good.
Yeah, but I would say like with like my grandparents, who are in their 70s and 80s, there's not as much like curiosity in that relationship as there is in like our relationship. So I think for me, it's that curiosity of what have you done in your life, and you know, back and forth. So I think that's what really keeps our relationship alive, is that we're interested in knowing each other. And
That's true.
yeah.
And, you know, as a former, well, I'm still a therapist, but when I started my practice a long time ago, I only worked with couples. And I'm really, really glad that that was my niche, my specialty for 20 some odd years, because I was required to really keep understanding, you know, what makes a connection, what starts it, what stops it, what slows it down, et cetera, et cetera. And the metaphor that came to me, and you're speaking to it, so I'll use it, is the metaphor of a pool. That when you start a connection with somebody, whether it's friend, lover, doesn't matter. You start in at the shallow end of the pool. You get in where it's comfortable, where you have a sense of control, and you go right for the commonalities, right? That's that's the crazy glue for the beginning of a connection. I got to have something in common with you. Now, when you told me you were Gemini, shoot, that nailed it right there, because I love my Gemini twins. I love them, love them, love them. So that played in your favor. There was that commonality. Obviously, you were a native of Napa, California, and we had just moved there. So you had something that I needed to benefit from, which was geography, and you could teach me some things. But bottom line, once we got that established, and here we go, back to the metaphor of the pool, we each had a desire to go deep, to not just live in that shallow end where life gets eventually very boring and the talk is just small talk and you keep everything safe. And so the explorer seeker in you matched the explorer seeker in me, and that was a winning combination as far as I'm concerned. So interesting. Do you think there's value consciously, intentionally, for people cultivating connections of different ages in their life?
I think so. Yeah. I mean, it's you know, it's good to have diversity.
I agree. I agree.
You know, so it's good to um have mentors, and absolutely. Yeah. I mean, obviously there's wisdom and advice that you know, you've always been able to impart on me, but I feel that it's sometimes I'm teaching you things too, and it goes both ways, you know. So it's good to get different perspectives. Yeah.
You just nailed it for me. This is, again, the other illusion that has been created. And I do think it's largely tied to this culture, Western culture, because I understand in other cultures, people in my age group are revered. I mean, revered, and people want to stop and listen. And it is that wisdom, seasoned experience, which I understand. I've got a lot to impart. Yet, the value of keeping younger people in my life has been keeping me on my toes, not just resting on all of this life experience, which I call, you know, joining the SAG and Spread Club. I don't want to do that. I want to keep being stretched in as many different ways. And the thing I've noticed that I've been saying, because about a third of my connections are folks literally under the age of 40, which blows a lot of people's minds. And what I notice, especially that crowd, is very, very willing to take me up on the request that I ask of all my friends. Call my sweet ass out. Hold me accountable in any which way. If I'm doing something that is bullshit, call me out. If I have some kind of version of stinking thinking, call me out. I mean, I have warts. I will go to my next life with warts, with imperfections. And I find youngsters are very willing to do that. They'll call me out, and you've done that. And it doesn't matter how, but you've done it. So to me, I was telling a friend of mine the other day, I got nothing over on younger people. I don't. I've got nothing on you, but you didn't use the word, but the word is reciprocity.
Hey.
You give, you receive, you teach, you're the student. And I really believe that I've been able to keep that going by adding wider age group. And truth be told, I'm going to start winding down here, Madison, but I need to come clean because this is before you and I met. Someone asked me, well, matter of fact, when I moved to Southern California after my marriage ended, I met a lot of new people, number one, and younger people, and they were like, man, you're just open. I'm like, yeah. What happened was when I turned 55, and this is back in a married life when we were living in Chicago, former husband and I went out one evening for dinner with our friends that we had cultivated there in Chicago, and we were all around the same age, so this is, 55-ish, between 55 and 60. And over the course of that dinner, what happened was, and they shall remain nameless, a few of those people and those other couples started talking about retirement, Florida, which is been told it's the place to go, you go and die, and I do believe that. That's why you'll never catch me there. The other piece was they started talking about their aches and their pains and their doctor's visits.
Boring.
Honey, Carl, Madison, I had a freak out. Not openly at the dinner, but I got home and I made this announcement to my former. I got to tell you something. I cannot foresee my conversations for the rest of this life being focused on my body deteriorating, my needing to downsize and build a dramatically different kind of life for me. And he was like, honey, do whatever you got to do. I mean, he didn't care. Fine. And I did. I started that in Chicago. I started dropping down to 15 and 20. And then when I got to California, which is why that state will always be my soul's home, because it's the land of free spirits. There were no borders. There were no boundaries. And so I started meeting you. No wonder. I had just trashed any idea. It's like, well, why not go younger? Interesting. I bet a lot of men make that decision as they hit midlife. Go younger. Drop the wife and let me get a sweet young thing. Never mind. I'm not going there. But yeah, so it's interesting. I'm very proud of myself that I had that conscious attention. And then I just thought, well, just, go big or go home. Right? And we both have benefited.
Absolutely.
Do we have some final remarks before we?
Well, you know what?
I
just wanted to bring Madison on, and my other guest, Amanda's coming on soon. I'm really making a case to you youngsters, because, there's still a heck of a lot more hope for you, because you're still developing. Stay open. And do not write, especially us third actors, off. But more importantly, just know what feeds your soul. And if you see and experience that in another human being who happens to be of a different age or dramatically different age group, do not write people off. That's my message. Anything you want to add, sister?
I mean, yeah, stay open, stay curious, stay honest.
Yeah. Which all goes back to staying true to yourself. All right. Well, callers, I didn't give you a chance. If you want to pipe in, call in with your opinion about closing the age gap, 515-599-1687. Madison, you mean the world to me.
Thank you. Back at you.
Okay, sweetheart. Thanks again for your time.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you
Bye.
guys so much. All right, we're going to take a short break here, so I'll see you back in a couple minutes. talk to Madison.
Oh, okay.
Madison, can you hear us?
Yeah, I can leave if you want me to,
yeah.
but Amanda's here too, so can I stay?
Yeah, if you just mute your mic, I think it'll
it's
be
fine
okay.
with me, I guess.
Okay, I'm gonna mute myself.
Okay.
And who else is on?
Well, I don't want to start her up just yet. I want to talk a little bit.
Does she know she's queued up though?
She's queued up and okay. She's queued up.
I'm here.
Okay. That's good. No, that's good. That's good. So we'll bring you in a couple seconds.
All right.
All right.
Well,
a couple minutes.
yeah, a few minutes. I want to talk to talk to the audience a little bit.
Okay.
Before I bring you in. Yep. Hold on. Yeah, I want to talk a little bit about ageism. Bring that clinical therapist in.
You want to get a drink? You good?
Yeah,
Before we
good.
start back
I don't know
up
what
again?
happened to my top piece. That drives me nuts. How you do? Oh, okay. Hold up. I'm gonna brush my hair. I do not like my hair tonight. Is the music still playing?
It's not. You wanted to?
Oh, I thought the music. Oh.
There's so much more to me. Somehow I'll have to make them. Just understand, I got it well in hand. And oh, how
You're
I
fine.
plan. I'm spreading love. There is no need to fear. And I just feel so good every time I hear. I'm coming up, coming up.
Then I'm gonna bring us back in, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Breaker. I'm gonna give it 30 seconds.
I'm coming, I'm coming.
Gang, Meg Higgins, queen of second opinions, and you're going to keep finding out that I got a lot of them. And that's because I've put some time on this planet. I'm officially in the third act of life. My body is over 60, but I live by my spirit, and she's 45. That is serving me very, very well. Plus, I have the benefit of being a clinical therapist now of 45 years. I am shocked. I think it was a friend of mine years ago and said, Meg, did you ever think you'd last this long in your profession? I said, no. I gave myself a couple years, technically as a clinical social worker, worked at hospitals, agencies, put some time in, and discovered that, no, I don't do well as somebody's employee. Of course, it helps that I got fired 3 times in my 20s. Yes, Carl. But you know what? Being let go, being shown the door, it's a teaching moment.
And another one opens.
Exactly. And that is true. That is very, very true. The point is, I know some things, I've lived some things, and just to remind my listening audience, I will not ever have a topic on this show, second opinionated, that I have not lived in some form or fashion. I'm not a talking head. I'm not a subject matter expert except on my life. And I am only going to hang out with things that I have lived directly, intimately, and am alive to tell the story. So, closing the gap is the subject tonight. And on the streets, it's called ageism. And there's a lot of ways that gets played out. And it does get played out in people's associations. I can tell there are some people that want to hang with me and just don't know how to get over that hump. And as a younger friend of mine said, and she shall remain nameless, she's like, we really clicked it off, and she happened to tell her parents about me, and her parents were like, what? She's over what? I think I was over 65 at the time, and it was a head scratcher. Of course, her parents were at that time in my age group. So she struggled. And I said, you know what, honey? Let me just meet him. They'll get it. And sure enough, they openly admitted that they did not understand it until they hung out with me. Again, as the saying goes, can't judge a book by its cover. And judging someone by their age is a critical mistake. But we learn ageism, any of the isms. They're learned. We don't come out of our mother's womb with that bias, with the prejudice. It is taught, whether it's in the home or at school or by other elders. The bottom line is that's what gets it going. And I'm here to unlearn that and be a living example of that, and to invite you youngsters to open up the doors to people of all ages. Because if you're really about being a student in this life, there are many, many teachers. Carl, before I invite my next guest, you've had some teachers.
Definitely. You know,
you got any in my age group currently, other than me?
You know what? You might be the only one.
So far?
Yeah,
That's fine.
I do want to say, though, if you do want to reach Meg, you can go to secondopinionated.com. If you ever want to talk to Meg, that is how you reach Meg. If you ever want to book Meg, secondopinionated.com.
Opinionated. We got to get that in. Not second opinion, because I am the queen of second opinions. But thank you. We got to go that aided, because when we started this thing, we found out the second opinion was already taken. The nerve. In the meantime, so here again, I'm doing my part to help people not create this bias in their life, because you don't know what you're missing. And if you have the desire to expand, take risks, and to become who you were meant to become, then there's a lot of people that await you. And it's interesting. I don't have any grandchildren, and I will not have any in this life. And what's been interesting, in the last 5 years, I've started offering babysitting to some of my neighbors. So I'm hanging out with toddlers and children, which is why I offered Carl to babysit your little one. Because what I love, it's not so much a learning, but it's like it resurrects this beautiful, sweet, playful, just lover of life spirit in me when I'm around little ones, or even toddlers or grade schoolers. So again, my door is going to stay open. In the meantime, let me get this other party started with my second guest. Her first name is Amanda. She hails from San Diego, California, where I lived for many, many years. And I'm going to talk about how we each have benefited from this connection, because we talk openly about that and regularly. So she and I'm not good at chronology that much anymore. I just think we're in the 2.5 to 3 year mark. And in terms of our connection. So,
Tell her to start talking.
Amanda, come on in the house, Amanda.
Hi, everyone.
Girl,
Hi.
you're about as cute as can be, and
Ooh.
you're getting cuter. And I see you're wearing one of your favorite colors.
Pink.
I have a thing of red, and Amanda's got a thing about pink. And you know what? It's amazing. See, if I were really stuck with the bias, you and I would have never been friends, because I do not like pink.
Together with Valentine's Day.
Well, we're actually on the same continuum, aren't we? pink can kind of bleed into red, or red can bleed into pink. I'm not sure what that background noise is. Where's that coming from?
Trying to figure it out.
Carl's trying to figure it out. God love you. But see, I try to model imperfection every chance I get. So if you're looking for the perfect podcast, I am not your gal. You might as well move on. In the meantime, Amanda, thank you so much for donating your time, because I know your time is precious. Because she's one of the things we have in common is fun. Oh my God. Okay, but you tell your version of how we cross paths. Where this story began.
Our story is pretty unique. Me and Meg met in an acting class in San Diego, and we got partnered together to do a very dramatic scene, which was our first time one-on-one with each other. And after that, we decided to create some TikTok content, and we had this love and passion for creativity, and that's where it blossomed.
That, well said, creative. And it's so interesting because it wasn't until I took that acting class that I saw myself as a creative and didn't understand that really is a thing. That's a thing, especially in California or Southern California. There's just so much going on from a creative standpoint, and acting was the place that it all began for us. And you're right. I've often wondered, if we would have just been classmates, we might have enjoyed each other. But yeah, that teacher, when she put us in some scenes, whoops, that background noise is driving me nuts. Sorry, folks. It's annoying, but I'll deal with it. The scenes really just rocked, I think, both of our worlds. We were stretching, and we started processing after. Remember, after class.
Mm-hmm.
Amanda, turn this down a little bit on your end. We're getting a little kickback there.
Getting feedback.
Okay, is this better?
Just turn this down a little bit. I think that's where the kickback is coming from.
Okay.
Okay.
That's all right. We live and we learn. We live and we learn. So yeah, we had. I think it's interesting. I hadn't thought about this till now. I think we both, other than what really blossomed later, was the fun, the playfulness, the creative. I know that I was extremely uncomfortable in some of the scenes, and I remember it's still happening. We're still trying to figure out this feedback. Folks, listeners, it is what it is.
Do you have headphones or anything, Amanda? Just curious.
No headphones, just my audio.
Okay, you're fine. I wonder if it's the way the mic is sitting, if it's bouncing off the table or something, but let's just keep going.
Okay, yeah, that's fine. Again, I model imperfection. But yours and my connection, from my point of view, I like the fact that it wasn't social, that we were both in a vulnerable situation called acting class. And with other friendships that I've ultimately made, I have had too many start off in what I would call a shared vulnerability. Because I know I was sizing myself and judging myself, in this acting class because I had never done it before. Was that your first acting class?
That was my first one, yeah. So it was intense.
Wow. Okay, so once we got over that, I think it was the commitment to going out after, not every class, but some of them, and we would do a little bit of debriefing. So listeners, notice what's happening. What are some of the ingredients? If age is not a problem, if it's not a limit, if it's not a deal closer, look what happens. You discover that in spite of the gap, which there was, again, let me think back, a good 40 years, but who's counting? That, we each found ways to resonate around, I believe, were some core values. And one thing, I'll speak for me, Amanda. Once I saw your ability to be open to having any kind of fun. I mean, we're not talking anything illegal, folks. Nothing immoral, folks. Nothing unethical, folks. But it was like what I call Katie barred the door. And you took me to places in San Diego that, I mean, I don't know that I ever would have known existed. would have ever thought to do. And one of the ones that stands out for me, and I think it was in honor of Cinco de Mayo, was you took us out on that boat ride.
Yes,
And
with the taco bar.
with the taco bar, no less. And I was looking at my photos the other day, and you've got this big sombrero on, and I'm like, oh my God, this woman. Yeah, and we also had a thing for appearance and how we dressed.
Yes.
I remember that. Yeah.
You always had the sparkly clothes and the fun outfits on, looking like a disco ball.
Yeah. And again, so when you start to get other factors that bond you, then it's like for me, and I don't want to speak for you. I mean, I was conscious of the gap. You can't like not see it, but for me, that stuff starts to fade away. It just recedes. And of course, I have to say this, out of the collection of young women that I have in my life that are in this 25 to 35 group, I think it's because we're from the Midwest. And she's from Minnesota and I'm from Missouri. And I think that Midwest thing gave us another look with some people. And I swear to God, I don't think I've ever told you this, but every time we hung out, whether it was directly in our company or what happened to me if I was going to the bathroom, is that your daughter?
Oh.
Or so every now and then there were a few bold ones. Is that your granddaughter? I so wanted to slap people. But I understood it. That's the cultural conditioning. There's rules against this. But Amanda, true to her form, the times that people would come up to you and say, is that your mom? Did you ever get the grandmother thing?
I think rarely, mostly your mother comments.
It was mostly mother. And you would take delight. Carl, I would watch Amanda's face. She would light up and so proudly say, she's my friend. And I remember this one other bar establishment. I just remember the scene. It was a guy, and he was just dumbfounded. And we were like two little peacocks. We just let our feathers spread. We were just so proud. And I liked that. And I can say that you are the only one that took this gap to that level. Like, oh, not only is she, but don't fuck with. Oh, there's that word. Where's that word? The F word. I cannot say it sometimes. My bad. But I'm curious because I asked Madison this too. Yeah, there we go. Was there any part of you at any time that was a little bit like perplexed, like this is really happening? I'm really having a friend with a woman of this age. Any of that?
No, it was all just fun and excitement for me. It really was. And like you said before, when people are asking questions, Meg is the best sidekick to have out in the town. I've gotten dates, some job offers going on, and Meg was there for it. And I said, wow, this doesn't happen with anyone else.
Well, again, I have to say, it's through you youngsters that I've added to my circle of life over the last number of years that have reminded me, no wonder I was a cheerleader in high school. Because that's kind of what I get to be with you youngsters. I don't see myself as the elder or the wise woman. It's more like, you go, girl. You go, guy. And I'm doing this with Carl. I mean, I feel the same way with him, even though he happens to be of a different gender, even of a different race. It doesn't matter. If you're on a roll, I'm going to be right there with you and even nudge you a little bit. Now, I know I've nudged you.
Yes, a lot.
And it's a loving thing. It's not like me. Yeah, it's not a negative thing. Now I'm going to ask you the same question I asked Madison. Other than the social experiences we've had where people are confused and they don't want to believe we're not mother and daughter, has there been anybody in your other circle of people that have ever asked you, like, what's up with you and Meg? In kind of a judgmental or ageism kind of way, have you gotten any kind of experience from that? Not that you have to have.
Not in the way you're explaining it. Most of my friends, when I tell them, they're really eager to meet you. I want to meet Meg. She sounds so fun. Who's Meg? And I think it's more of those responses from my friend
Beautiful.
group and
Beautiful.
questioning.
Okay. Well, again, that's lovely to hear because not everybody is open and not everybody is curious. But yet I must say maybe that is the thing that I have the pleasure of witnessing is there are some things in this culture that truly are dying. And maybe the ageism piece is happening because I don't. When I've been out with you and you've taken me in your friend circle, I've not felt weird.
No good.
Oh no, I have not. And the same with Madison and a few of my. I've not felt weird. The weirdness again is now that I think about it, has largely come from their parents, who happen to know about me, which I understand, or just other extended people in the family. So that doesn't surprise me. What do you see as maybe a perk of having somebody of a different age? What do you think there are perks with having just that variety and that diversity in your circle?
Yes, mainly inspiration
Ooh,
and just, yeah, inspiration is what I want to say.
ooh, I like that word, and I've noticed I've been hearing that word quite a bit from people in different walks of life.
I think you give people permission to be able to express themselves how you are because you're a very bold person that it makes people feel like they don't have to be scared to show who they truly are. And I think that is one thing I've learned from you.
Well, and I know, thank you, Amanda. That's very sweet. And you reminded me of something else that I tell people if they kind of persist in knowing, how come you're so non judgmental? I said, because I grew up in a very, very, very judgmental family, judgmental culture, judgmental part of the world. And that's not a criticism of my family or the Midwest or the 50s and the 60s. That's what was going on. And I do believe that is slowly fading. Slowly. I can see it happening. So, I always like to ask this. If I were a doctor, I literally would prescribe it. I would say get one or two, maybe three people in your circle that are not within your age group of 5 or so years. No. So, okay. Well, I thank you so much for joining me, for adding your experience. And again, I'm noticing that's what folks have in common. They're open, they're curious, and they're seekers. And girl, I'm going to put up to the universe tonight before I go to bed. Lord, let me live for sure 20 more years because I want to watch Amanda. Cool. She's got stuff going on, Carl.
Give us 10 more years at least.
Woo. Any final remarks, Amanda?
Yeah. How do you want to close this
I'm
baby out?
glad that we are friends and we're building this connection deeper. And thank you for having me on your show tonight.
You're welcome, girl. I told you if I was in San Diego tonight, we'd be going out and popping champagne.
Oh, we would be.
All right, girl. Love you dearly. Love
I
you
love
dearly.
you.
All right. We'll fade her out and I'll come back in and then we're going to wrap this baby up. Okay. Again, Meg Higgins, your queen of second opinion. So let me just make this statement succinctly. There are a few things I would legislate if I were queen, and this would be another one of them. Not only do you consider leaving the region of the country you were born and raised in and move to another country or just another region, here's the other thing, folks. Diversify. Stay open to letting people show up in your life. It could be brief, it could be for the long haul, and let them be not in your immediate age group, because that's called safe, familiar, and predictable. But if you like to play it safe, then you'll keep a small circle and they'll all be cut from the same cloth. That's your choice. That's a choice. We're all products of our upbringing until we decide to not be anymore. And it's called free will, conscious choice. And I'm so pleased that I have practiced and lived a diverse life, both in location, both in people, both in my elements of my career. And it's the fastest path to growth. And I didn't have to pay a lot of money for it. The world is your teacher. And the more open and limitless you are in your experiences, you'll be one happy camper. So, Carl, thanks for hanging out with me. He's my partner in crime. I need to give him that title. And I can't wait to watch him earn it more and more. I'm going to watch you grow.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, I'm going to be watching you grow. Yes, that's the other thing I love about being around younger people, because they're just getting started. See, they're in that first act, birth to 30, and then some of them are kissing 30, and after 30, that's the second act. That's when things really start cooking. Oh, God, an exciting time. And I just happen to have a spirit that says, well, Meg, you're not done yet. I'm still cooking. This podcast is a good example. My website, secondopinionated.com. If you want to know all the ways I can serve you or people you know and love, check me out there, because there's a lot of things. This podcast is just one of them. All right, let's call it a night.
Woo!
Later. See you all, hear from you all, check in with you all next Wednesday. Every Wednesday, 7 to 8 p.m. Central Time. You can find me on YouTube, Spotify, and uploading it to TikTok and Facebook.
And Instagram.
Catch me, check me out, and tell your peeps. Meg Higgins, Queen of Second Opinions.
I do my hair toss, check my nails. Baby, how you